28 is also that same number that's giving buyers a lot of hope as we now slowly enter the hot spring market, as sellers, according to the Northwest MLS, are showing that they are now finally ready to put the houses on the market. Hello, mis amigos. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for tuning in. As we all know, the month of February had a total number of 28 days in it. Now, the number 28 is also that same number that's giving buyers a lot of hope as we now slowly enter the hot spring market, as sellers, according to the Northwest MLS, are showing that they are now finally ready to put the houses on the market. Now, the Northwest MLS, according to its February 2026 data, showed us that when you combine single-family residential homes and condos together, inventory rose year over year by as much as 28%. Kind of the same enormous gains that we saw all of 2025. But when you go month to month, that number rose from January to February 7.8%. So now sellers are like, okay, the holidays are over. Let's put this sucker up on the market, okay? In regards to the closed sales, it dropped year over year by as much as 3% from February 2025 to February 2026. But when you go month to month, January to February this year, it rose by as much as 20%. It's starting to heat up. The market's starting to heat up. Buyers, pay attention. Things are starting to heat up. And when you go to the median sales price, single-family residential homes and condos together, for the month of February 2026, that number was $620,000. That was a slight decrease of 2% in year over year, but when you go month to month, the increase was as much as 4.2%. Coming up, I'm going to give you the data for King County, Snohomish County, Seattle, the East Side, and the one area that saw an increase of inventory by as much as 168%. Tops all in King County. In fact, it was one of the areas that I did a story on. You might have seen the video. I did it last month. That one of the top 5 areas that are really growing in the Seattle surrounding area. Hey, greatly appreciate you subscribing and liking my channel. So here we go. We're going to start off as we normally do with the King County numbers. Again, guys, we're doing only single-family residential homes. I'll do the condos next week, February 2025 to 2026, and it's only residential. Now, if we look at the numbers, the new listings rose, and again, inventory is rising by as much as 30%. The month prior, an increase was 22%, right? Everybody's now excited with the new year and the new market. When we look at the amount of units closed, you see it was just over 1,000, a decrease by as much as almost 8%. But the month prior, this number was 749. Days on market, 39. It's still high, but the month prior, that number was 56. 56 in January to 39 in February. Things are picking up, guys. Things are not staying on the market as long, even though it's still high. 39, which is great. Again, I know I'm repetitive. I say it every video, but that's great for you buyers. And the median sales price, $938,500. The month prior, that was $860,000. Month supply of inventory, 1.9. That sucks, right? But it's the market, and we're getting closer. That number is probably going to dwindle a lot more as we get closer to the spring months of what I would call April, May, June. Okay. Now moving over now to Snohomish County. Same trends we're seeing. New listings that increased by as much as 28%. The month prior, the increase was only 4.9%. That was 708 in the month of January, but for the obviously 2026, 784. Now, as we look at another one, closed sales. Amount of closed sales, yeah, it dropped by as much as 11% compared to the rest of the area. It kind of went down, not according to what I said at the top of the video. The entire Northwest MLS, which represents, by the way, 29 of the 37 counties that make up Washington State. So that was a decrease, contrary to what we're seeing in the entire Northwest MLS. 459 rather. The month prior was 307. And the amount of days on market, the month prior was 53. February was 46. So again, same thing we saw in King County. That number is going to drop, and it's going to continue to drop. But year over year, it was an increase by as much as 39%. Again, seasonal, and it's also buyer confidence, right? It's all about buyer confidence. Some people with interest rates now the lowest in the past, what, almost since the last almost 4 years. Buyers are whatever 5.99%, 30-year fixed rate average loan right now. So a lot of optimism. So let's see. We don't know what's happening now in the Middle East, so it's going to be interesting to see how the market reacts in the next month or two. What do you think? It's going to get worse? I don't know, because of the thing with Iran. We'll see. Median sales price $750, and the month prior that was $715. A trend that we did see the entire Northwest MLS, right? An increase from month to month. Median sales price, although year over year, dropped by as much as 4%. Month supply of inventory, that sucks. Okay, moving on, because I know you have things to do. Let's move out to the Seattle area. If you're new to my channel, I like showing you exactly. If I say Seattle, you're like, well, does that include shoreline? No. According to the Northwest MLS, it's just about where we're Lake City. There you see Magnolia, and there it's Lake Ridge. Kind of cool growing area. I've always said that every year, but it is. And of course, Beacon Hill. Here are numbers for Seattle, because you have things to do. Here we go, we're quick. Median sales price, not too much of a change. Year over year for single family residential homes, $963,000. The month prior, $850,000. So, again, the trend continues. Northwest MLS, Seattle's right there, just like King County. Snohomish, maybe not as much. Total active listings, an increase by as much as 34%. And the month prior was an increase of 30%. Okay? So, buyers, keep this in mind. And when you strategize on when you'd like to go and look at homes, if you're looking to buy a home, let's say in April, May, I hope you already started your process of getting applying for a loan. You don't want to be caught behind the 8 ball. Now we're looking at the amount of units sold. 356. The month prior, that was 251. Same trend again we saw throughout the Northwest MLS. Month supply of inventory, Seattle itself, a lot better than King County, Snohomish County. It's low, but it is a lot better. But if you look at that number, that's what it was 12 months ago, 1.82. So a lot better this year than it was in 2025. Moving out to the east side, I had to zoom in. So I kind of cut off a piece of the east side according to the Northwest MLS, which, again, that's Highway 2, takes you out to Leavenworth, and there's not too many homes in that area. This area does not include Leavenworth, because I know there's homes, but it stops right before the mountain range right there. So this is all of Bellevue. Here's your east side numbers year over year. Median sales price 1.6%. Year over year is a decrease by as much as 7%. The number before the month prior is $1.4 million. So again, things heating up. Total active listings 879, an increase by as much as 58%. The month prior, that increase was 49%. I like the activity. I like things moving. We're seeing it every year, but I think, I said it before, I have a feeling that things are going to be very interesting, and I think in a positive way for 2026. At least I hope so. Amount of units sold increased by as much as 4%, what we saw all of King County basically. And the months of inventory, 3.23. The month prior, I wanted to show this one, 3.23. The month prior was 1.58. So sellers now contributing to the inventory. A lot of sellers trying to time it, and they'll say, you know what, we're waiting maybe a little bit too long. Let's start putting it now. That's going to be great. But I have this next 2 weeks, I got 5 listings coming up. Just myself. I can imagine some other brokers out there. So trust me, it's going to get very, very interesting. Now, I told you at the top of the video that I always spotlight. If you watch me every month, I always spotlight one area that I think is kind of interesting and you might find interesting. So the area I'm going to show you had the highest increase for the month of February 2026 in regards to inventory growth. okay, year over year. Now, the area, as I said before, it was one of the areas that I selected. 5 emerging areas around the Seattle metropolitan region. Okay, it was one of the 5. So I'm not gonna say I got lucky because I studied, I looked at the numbers, like, man, these things are growing, and it's one of my favorite little areas, and especially you've been there if you have gone up to Mount Rainier, up to Paradise. The area that I'm talking about is Enumclaw. I love me like Enumclaw. A lot of great land to buy there. I have a lot of clients that are looking for land to put a house, a tiny home, or manufactured home. But you see, in case you're not familiar with the area, right outside the screen bar right here is Tacoma. All right, you see Auburn, Kent, Black Diamond. I like Black Diamond. That's a nice little area, okay? And Buckley, cool little town. Love me some Enumclaw. So here are your numbers for the spotlight against Enumclaw. Here, Enumclaw. Median sales price out there, $620,000, an increase year over year by as much as 5%. Now, I mentioned it earlier. The total active listings, 51, an increase of 168%. That's the highest in all of King County, in all the areas in King County for the month of February. An increase of 168. As buyers get priced out of, like, maybe yourself, you're like, man, I'd love to live in Seattle. Well, a lot of people would, but it's too expensive. They start finding other pockets. And sometimes it's kind of good looking at those pockets, because those pockets in about 5 or 6 years, you're going to say, man, I should have bought in that area, right? Got to go where people are going and more interested in. It's a great area. If you've never been to Enumclaw, go out there. Pending sales is decreased by as much as 31%. Amount of units sold, okay? Get this. Amount of units, 23. This is interesting. Increase of 53%. So there's interest out there, okay? Now, that number was number 2, the second highest increase amount of units sold for the month of February in all of King County. The top area with the highest increase for the month of February was another area that I picked in the top 5 emerging areas in the Seattle region. The area, Richmond Beach, Shoreline. You haven't been on Richmond yet? It's really, really cool. It's super, super nice. But that was number 1 increase in amount of units sold. And Enumclaw is number 2. What do you think? Are we looking good? Are you optimistic? Is the situation in Iran kind of scaring you off? Interest rates, they're low. Do you think they're going to last that long? Inflation, there's a scare, maybe a little inflation. Let me know. Hey, and by the way, before I let you go, real quick, wait. Don't change channel. If you live in an area, or you're planning to possibly live in an area that you'd like for me to feature, I'd be more than happy to show it in my next video. I do have a lot of you guys that do reach out to me, so I'd be more than happy again to help everybody out, because we're here to give knowledge and to give you an honest opinion. Good luck, guys.